Welcome to PTZOptics live from the lounge. We are here at booth N1902, and PTZOptics is shining bright and big here, showcasing smart and intelligent video. I'm joined today from Zoom. Andy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, John. Thanks so much for having me.
So how's NAB been so far?
It's been great. You know, it's a really interesting show that has a broad set of creators, from solo live streamers to enterprise production teams and, of course, TV broadcasters. So a great mix of people all in one place in Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been busy. It's picking up throughout the day.
Yep.
But we're happy to be here. Let us know where you guys are watching from home. Just a reminder, we're going to be doing this throughout the show. Today we have a couple more interviews after with Andy, a couple after Andy, and then we have 1 to 2 tomorrow and Wednesday as well. So tune in. You will have a lot of great guests we can happily share afterwards as well. But Andy, I wanted to ask you, how did you get started at Zoom? You were telling me a little bit, and I had to stop you because I was very interested in it. How did you get started?
Yeah, so in 2020, I had a startup called Liminal, and Liminal built tools for live streamers to be able to bring in remote guests into their productions.
Okay.
And so we made tools that we give you like isolated NDI feeds of the remote participants, so you have clean feeds that can go into your switcher. And in 2021, Zoom acquired my startup, and now I lead all the pro media and broadcast use cases of Zoom. So while we continue to build out our Liminal apps, Zoom ISO, Zoom OSC tiles, we also have over 20 broadcast integrations that we've created. 9 of them are here doing live demos at the show, so a lot of ping-ponging around the halls here. But we are super integrated into the broadcast ecosystem, again, across all those 3 segments I told you about.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm sure people are interested at home how that works. Creating a startup, being acquired by a company like Zoom is extremely impressive. I'm sure you've been asked over the past 4 years, how did that happen? How do I do the same? How do I get started? So what would you give advice for someone?
Yeah, the best advice I can give is, to try to solve a real problem that you have in your life. Like for me, I was running a live streaming company. We had the pandemic, of course. Everything was shut down, and so everything had to be distributed, remote production, right? And so for me, it was a matter of taking Zoom's developer tools and then building tools to solve my own problems. And what you're going to find when you do that is there's a lot of other people out there that have similar problems to you, and they will naturally gravitate to somebody who is passionately pursuing something that they have direct expertise in. And especially with the development of AI coding tools, the barrier has never been lower than it's been right now to get started and build something from scratch that you're an expert on the problem and what a great solution looks like.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up AI, because how do not only do you feel about AI, but how does Zoom looking at AI as a whole? What is the future for AI?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Zoom is super, super excited about AI and its role in the workplace. It's built into our Zoom Workplace product, but it's doing all sorts of different things, from meeting summarization, live transcription, translation, work that we're doing with avatars and facial tracking, and even traditional machine learning features like what we do in virtual backgrounds and touch up my appearance. Like, there's a whole ton of features there. We've even at this show, we've just announced back in California that we have this ID verification now that we're doing for verified real human connection into our Zoom meetings as well. So in the IDV space, the deep fake detection. So all these things are really important to us to have the foundation of trust, but then all those amazing capabilities on top.
That's incredible, man. It's great to hear about that future technology. I'm always looking forward to seeing what's coming out. I mean, people don't expect you guys to go that deep and explain and explore these new avenues.
Yeah, I mean, that is the big surprise, right? We were talking about Zoom as a platform. You're thinking meetings, you're thinking teleconferencing. You don't necessarily realize all the vertical industries like broadcast that we play a role in, bringing in guests to be part of the nightly news, and all of those things. Those are areas that we take very seriously.
Absolutely. So obviously we have a PTZOptics plugin for Zoom. It's a great camera control tool that you can actually move your camera in Zoom. But I wanted to ask you specifically about PTZ cameras as a whole. Where do you see them integrated with Zoom? What are some use cases that you see?
Yeah, I mean, they're so exciting, right? And for us, the conference room is a great place where we see PTZ cameras coming in. And the reason for that is that these are highly flexible spaces, right? At some points during the day, they might be having a one-on-one conversation, so you need that nice, traditional center frame, rule of thirds shot. And other times during the day, you got a whole board sitting in there, and you need to have that wider framing. Even doing things like reframing in the room based on the who's talking, and being able to target to that individual and get a nice shot of them to bring meeting equity. Because we're all when you're remotely connected connected in, you got that nice head and shoulders shot, right?
Yeah.
When you're in the conference room, there's sort of a different situation there. And the PTZ camera being so flexible really allows that space to transform to serve the need of the meeting that's taking place in the room. And as you think about things like large auditoriums and conference room spaces, even things that have like air walls, like divisible spaces, right? The ability to not have locked off cameras in every specific position, but rather to take a smaller set of cameras and make them more usable for different types of use cases. The conference room really, for us, seems to be a big place where we're finding these cameras cropping up.
Oh, that's amazing. That's incredible. I completely agree with that. I mean, it's been such a great tool for us at PTZOptics, at Haverford, our parent company. We use Zoom all the time. We love our plug-in. We love all the great features you guys offer. So when we look at the next 10 years, what is not only Zoom going to offer in the next 10 years, but where do you see the whole AV industry going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about distributed centerless production, right? Where you can get the right person from anywhere in the world, regardless of their physical location or proximity to you, to be able to work on your event in a real and tangible way, right? So whether that's getting a guest from somewhere in the world, which is really the focus we have right now, but also remote operation, right? I was just talking to somebody at the show who's a lighting designer who has the ability to design lighting effects for their opera by simply connecting to some cameras over Zoom and remotely, while they're on a different location, be able to program and set up the show and set up the cues. And it's just so amazing what that unlocks for the freelancer. But I also think for enterprise teams, right, who have these big distributed workforces, the idea that we can connect in securely and a high quality connection for these remote teams to all participate means we get the best people in the world wherever they're located working on our show. I look 10 years out and I'm seeing people from all over the world participating in events that are totally centerless. That's
incredible. That's amazing. Well, Andy, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Where can people learn more about Zoom and where can they find you?
Yeah, so you can find us at zoom.com. If you're interested in our production tools, liminalet.com, that has all of our Zoom ISO app, our NDI integrations, all the cool things we're doing there, so you can check us out on the website.
Thank you so much, Andy. So check out that QR code if you guys need to learn more about Zoom. We will be back very soon live from the lounge with InnoGenie. Thanks. See you guys soon. Welcome back. My name's Jon Roberts, and we are here live from the lounge at PTZOptics booth in Las Vegas at NAB 2026. I'm joined by the one and only JP. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. I like to get a little hammy sometimes when I do my introductions. Apologies.
I like it.
Well, thank you. I know we mentioned that we were going to speak with InnoGenie. Unfortunately, they're not able to make it today, but I think about tomorrow we might be able to talk to them. So stay tuned to InnoGenie. We are still going to interview Gordon from Boxcast at 2:30, so stay tuned at 2:30. I should say Mountain Time. Are we on Mountain Time? West Coast time,
West
right?
Coast time.
Thank you.
Pacific.
JP, how has NAB been for you so far?
It's been good. I've enjoyed it. This is my... I know people usually count how many times I've been in NAB, but I think this year especially, it's exciting to see some of the new technology in remote production, new types of creator tools. Example, Insta360. I was over there the other day. They've got some things for content creator on the go, run and gun. But it's great to see some of the solutions here. Conversations I'm having around, more the conversation around AI, obviously, right? As
Sure.
AI kind of
Can't escape it.
Yeah, that seems to be one of the hot topics. It's like, okay, we got past last year about AI, and now you're seeing the next set of progression.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's waning a little bit, not as popular as like it has been the past couple of years. Obviously, it's still everywhere. I think you were telling me about using AI to understand and tag clips, organize different structures of clips as well. I think that's going to be essential. I mean, we use Google Drive at PTZOptics, and it's helpful, but the search engine in Google Drive, you're looking for the name. It's very, very basic. So I've always thought about how we can, if we are providing a video, Google is already creating a transcript of that entire video. It should already kind of understand a little bit more about that video. So I think search engines across the board could probably be improved heavily with AI.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Well, and that was a conversation I had today earlier in another conversation around asset management. If we look at the content and the evolving part of technology, coming from a tech background, I previously get into production and streaming has been around technology is an ever-growing progressive type of process that we all know is there. And as AI and other types of technology come into the picture, is understanding how it will be used, how do we adapt to it? How do we evolve in terms of our own skill set, like we've talked about? And I think that's important for whether you're a camera operator or editor or whatever these tools you're using, and you incorporate that, but certainly the search function, that's a big one. And where we're pulling clips and things that we need to pull up for highlight or something during a live event that we're going to promote.
JP, do you remember your first NAB?
I do. It was several years ago now. Boy, that would have been 2018 at least. I think 2018, 2017.
Okay.
I was at a large church. I came with my manager, and we flew in just for the day. We left early in the morning.
Wow.
And we came here, but it was different then. It was like, you saw a lot of broadcast trucks and things like that. You don't see that as much here now because of IP and the way we're seeing where the technology's going. So that was, it was overwhelming in the sense that like I'd never been through that, and it was like exciting. I wanted to be there. I was just one of the companies that we were going to go, that we were participating, but I never got a chance. So when I got to go do it for the first time, it was awesome. And we went to a great diner somewhere in the Vegas area and got breakfast before we came over. So, and then we hopped on a plane that night and went back to California.
Oh, wow. That's a flashback, and it's crazy to hear about the IP trucks. I mean, it's not even 10 years ago, and that's how far we've already come in networking and wireless technology.
Absolutely.
I mean, our entire booth here is really powered off of Wi-Fi. We're using tablets to control our new web interface, exclusive with our Move 4K camera here. So if you update in our beta Discord group, or if you have the latest firmware, that's where you'll get the latest WebRTC with our camera.
Yep. But
Jon, I wanted to ask you, because you've had a long history in the AV industry, you've seen a lot, you've experienced a lot. Could you give us a little overview of kind of who you are, your background, and how you got to this point here?
Absolutely. So my background is heavy in tech. I was in the technology industry for a number of years before I got into the live streaming, broadcasting type video space. So I worked with companies like, Microsoft and Intel and other companies back in the day. And that was exciting to be part of that whole genre of innovation that was occurring in the industry. So when I got into streaming, kind of my background is jumping into that was actually a volunteer role at a church. I started doing webcasting in Orange County, Southern California. And I got into that. I was very fortunate. Same manager that I was with here when I came to Vegas gave me an opportunity in the team. So very thankful for that. Just started doing live streaming on Thursday nights. And again, these are old school boat anchor systems that we're using back in the day, right? And so kind of grew into that role and doing mostly on the broadcast streaming side, doing major events and crusades and stadiums and things like that we had to manage. So it was a very active, ongoing job. Had a team of volunteers that helped manage the live web streams throughout the week. So, obviously now evolving into where I'm at now is taking that experience that I gained from that role and opportunity, and still work with a lot of churches and different organizations outside of in the corporate world and things that we do here in the industry, is now taking that and going into live streaming from a cloud production.
Okay.
Right? And doing a lot of what we see the progression of remote production now. Obviously here at the show we're talking about that.
We're doing it right now.
We're doing it right now.
Yeah. So tell people about the setup that we're talking about right now.
Absolutely.
And we're using.
Absolutely. So the setup that we're using right now, that we started using probably last year, we started doing what we call, and I call it now Live Anywhere, but we started taking what we do here live from NAB and Infocom and other shows and going live from the show floor, all produced through the cloud using LiveView Studio with the LiveView backpack units and having my team set up like we do today on comms through LiveView Audio Connect. And so I have a TD in Montreal, Canada, I have a TD in Seattle, and I have a CG operator in Southern California driving the graphics.
That's crazy. Truly spread across the entire world.
We're covering the whole into the United States. So we figured out,
That's incredible.
But that's great. But that, going back to the technology discussion we're talking about, right? And that, I think that to me is the value. There's a couple things that we can do. One, we can have a more diverse team with some skill sets and things that we can leverage that are not traveling here.
Yeah.
But we can also make it more cost effective for the clients and people that we work with. Because at the end of the day, production is expensive and broadcast traditionally. So I think it's trying to figure out the democratization of how we use things and help provide more value without sacrificing the quality.
Yeah.
Right? And that's kind of thing. So here at the show, we're going live all throughout the week and working through this process of running a show and doing live spots that go to YouTube and Boxcast and different landing spots.
Sure. So what's the setup we have? We have a Move SE PTZ camera I see here.
Yep.
There's a Lumix camera here as well. Do we know the model off the top of your head?
Particular, it's the S1 II.
The S1 II, okay.
Yes. Sorry, my operator's giving me instructions. No, it's the S1 II. So we're working with Panasonic on our mobile rig that we do here at the show. So we actually have a run and gun type setup that my team and I have been working on. And then we have the Move cameras, because PTZ cameras are also becoming a critical part of the setup, just like we're doing here, right? And that's the ability to have a diversification of different cameras and put that together to be able to support whatever the show format might be. Podcasting is a popular one we know that's coming up.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So, I think that to me, from a tech perspective, is important, because I think at the end of the day, it's like, as much as we have these tools in our tool bag, we want to make sure that it's providing value, but also leverage the things, leverage different options we can put into play.
Do you remember the first time you heard of PTZ or robotic camera or even PTZOptics?
Yes. I was at the same church. We were there. We were looking at NDI back when it was just coming out.
Okay.
And so we were looking at PTZ cameras. We were actually testing that because I had remote satellite campuses throughout Southern California and one in Hawaii.
Wow.
And we were looking at how we could leverage those PTZ cameras to provide, mainly for our team to look and see what's going on. But I think more importantly, we also saw the advantage of PTZ cameras being able to run it remotely on campus and have different locations that we could pull those live feeds and run a live stream production.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And and what year do you think that was?
That would have been 2016, 2017.
So about a decade ago.
Yeah. No. Yes. It was a little while ago.
That kind of keys me up perfectly, because I was going to end before we get to Boxcast. We have Gordon. We're going to have another interview very soon in about 10 or 15 minutes. But I wanted to ask you, what do you think the next 10 years looks like for the AV industry? What's coming? What's changing?
I think, obviously we know AI. We've talked about that. One of the things that I'm looking at, and this is where PTZs play a role, I think in the industry, technology as a whole is a disruptor.
Yeah.
Right. We know that. And then I'll say that in a negative way. It's just because that's the way technology, and that's a good thing in the sense that we're looking at innovation. So I think for the industry, the continuation of where we see IP over video, obviously people talk about different SEPTA 2110 and those different standards that are out there. But I think if we get to a better standardization on some of the fronts that we're working as a broadcast in the industry itself, be it streaming or otherwise. So I think, obviously, the ability to control the cameras remotely, even here when you have a team on site and that other team is controlling that camera remotely, something you guys have kind of talked about at your past events.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's important for, again, taking that skill set of those operators and moving them into positions where they may not be here, but they're still leveraging their expertise in what they do, be it audio, video, or whatever it may be. I think there's a value in the industry that we can say, look, your role's not going away, but we're transitioning that role to optimize it and to help deliver the production.
Yeah.
Right? So to me, I think that's just coming from my own perspective on that part.
Yeah, I think we're going to become more and more customized.
Yep.
We're going to definitely maybe shrink the way certain jobs are performed and done, but yeah, I'm always thinking about robotic cameras and what's the future of robotic cameras. I spoke to someone yesterday about what it might look like to have a wearable camera. That's always been something that's really interesting to me. I always think of true futuristic cyberpunk level of, almost like the Predator's little laser cannon on his shoulder. Yeah. I've always thought about what does that look like? And maybe that's unrealistic to think that far down the line, and maybe that's 20 years down the line. Right. But I always think about, police officers that wear the body cam.
Yep.
Don't police officers want to know what's happening to the left of them, to the right of them, behind them? So what is the future going to be, and how are we going to integrate video and AI and understanding the video, and what does that end up leading to? Well, endless amount of customization, endless amount of analytics, right? Totally. It goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
So it's funny because people always ask us, well, what's the newest technology? Where's the newest thing? And there's just, you have to show here, and I don't really see that there's one big technology that's really blowing people away. It's just iterating and slightly improving and adjusting to make things slightly better, but nothing's really blown me away so far.
Yeah, and I think that That's inherently a challenge of any certain industries, but I think to your point, especially with cameras and different technology and manufacturers and OEMs, we saw this in the technology world, working in with the likes of Microsoft and their companies that work with Intels and AMDs and different companies. There is a process by which we go through to validate where these technologies ultimately support and come to fruition in what we do. So to your point, here at NAB, I don't think there's one thing that jumps out other than collectively, how do we continue to push it forward with IP over video? How do we continue to create the management simplicity? And how do we optimize the production? So to your point, from an IRL, from a content creator perspective, from those type of things in that world where you have the wearable cameras, or even with live view working in public safety and things, we're seeing live streams coming from drones and everything, and fire.
So cool. It's
and so I think one of the things in the live streaming industry and in video is the transmission of that video. And how do we map that video to be delivered in a variety of different ways, to your point. And I think whether it's somebody wearing the camera or we're pulling that feed from a drone or things like that, I think that's going to continue to evolve. The tools that we use, AI help make sure that it's optimizing and maybe analyzing the ability of that quality of the camera feed and whatever we ends up coming being. But to your point, I agree with you. So I think when you come to NAB or these shows, it's like, there's a lot of things being discussed. There's no one big major earth-shattering type discussion or announcement, but just something that overall we can basically make sure we work together, continue that whole effort.
Absolutely. Streamline and automation is truly the two key words that I would really shout out right now for what I've seen at NAB. Well, Jon, where could they learn more about Stream Anywhere?
So, so we have, they can go to social180group.io. And if they go there, we, with the Live Anywhere initiative that we have that I'm kicking off here at the show, if they go to the website, there's a watch page selection at the top bar on the website. And you can go there and you can then, that'll connect you to the what we're doing here throughout this week and live streaming. If you see me here at the show, feel free to stop me or Andrew and stop us. We're happy. We have some cards. You can scan a QR code while we're here, and that'll take you directly to the webpage as well. If you watch our live streams, we have things up there too. So we're, webpage first, website, and then obviously if you see us around here and you're at the show, let us know.
Thank you so much, Jon. We'll be back very, very soon with Boxcast, and I'm excited to talk about how they're pushing remote mixing to the future. So we'll be back very soon. Welcome back. We are live from the lounge here at NAB at PTZOptics booth 1902. We are here with Gordon from Boxcast. How are you doing, Gordon?
Great, Jon. Good to see you.
It's great to see you too. So, if you don't know Boxcast or have never heard of Boxcast, I think we should start right there, Gordon. What is Boxcast, and what do you guys offer?
Well, Boxcast is a video streaming platform, and we came about wanting to make it as easy as possible for people. In the early days of streaming, computers weren't really powerful enough. People didn't know how to make it all work, get all the bits to connect. And so we thought to ourselves, what if there was a box that you just plug your video input into, and we had that then go right to your website for your viewers to see whatever they want. You just had to schedule your events. Just plug and play, and that box would broadcast the video, so we called it Boxcast. And now we have a streaming platform called Boxcast, and we serve over 1 million streams a year.
That's incredible. That's amazing. We've been partners with you for a long, long time, but I wanted to ask, because I don't even know, when's the first time you heard of not only PTZ cameras as a whole, but PTZOptics? I'm assuming maybe Paul reached out to you?
Oh, of course. Well, heard of. I mean, it's hard to avoid you guys because we've had so many customers that use the cameras in their facilities. And it's brilliant because it's hard to get a camera guy for a lot of cameras at a lot of these organizations, because most of our customers are running these nonprofit organizations, a lot of churches, a lot of municipality events, and they want to make it so that you can see a good production, but they don't have a huge staff consistently. So put a bunch of PTZ cameras up, and now you can really flex and put a nice production together. So our customers told us about you first, and then we became friends with Paul and the crew from there.
Yeah, do you remember that? Was that at an NAB, or did he call you up, or randomly knock on your door like he's been known to do in the past?
Oh, no. It was much more along the lines of no stalking. It was always above board. We just knew that there was an opportunity, right? And so we thought to ourselves, hey, when the world of marketing changed and we realized that the best way to tell your story to new customers is to share your customers with others, that's when we realized we could start telling a story together. And we started to maybe tell that story to each other's customers.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you talk about your customer base, it sounds like there's a lot of house of worship. What are some other use cases that you see used in Boxcast, other content that you've noticed?
You know, we got into streaming before House of Worship was ready for it.
Really?
And our first customer base was college sports. So I'm proud to say that we still have almost a couple hundred colleges that use us for their athletic events. And what's interesting about that is that most of the parents were spending a lot of money to send their kids to college but couldn't see their kids play in all the events they wanted to. So that really drove the demand for streaming way before anything else really did. And so we found ourselves really serving that need first. And then fast forward 3, 4, 5 years, it started to hit the rest of sports. And sports has been a good run for us too. It was, before the Apple deal with Major League Soccer, we were the ones streaming on MLS games to
that's incredible,
to friendlies and to others on the MLS sites and those team sites themselves.
Wow, that's amazing. So you were with us here at NAB last year in 2025. You guys were showcasing Remote Mix. Now, a little birdie might have told me that Remote Mix might have a different name now. Can you tell us what that is and why the change was made?
Yeah, I'd love to. Remote Mix originally was created by Boxcast because we wanted to solve this problem of helping our customers mix their audio better. The number one problem we've always had with audio, the number one problem we've had with streaming is bad audio.
Yeah.
And the only way to fix bad audio is by improving the production itself. And we knew that we could enable that with a remote mixer that could do that. Now, once we got into that, we realized that, wait a minute, most of the people that are using this technology, which under the hood was Mixing Station, the app everybody's familiar with on their phones, is that underlying technology. And so we worked, my partner David and I said, hey, this is really a story about expanding the Mixing Station brand to be used anywhere to do everything that you already want to do. It could be remote mixing a broadcast. It could be for somebody that's on stage that might want to mix their own personal monitoring in their in-ears. It could be someone that wants to troubleshoot if there's a problem remotely. So knowing that there's so much more of an opportunity out there to really mix, not just remotely, but also on-site or however you want to. And we knew that that brand is so strong because there's millions, literally millions of people that are using Mixing Station. We moved it over. Now, I haven't completely made the transfer in my own brain.
Yeah, it's locked in. Once you
think of it as remote
pick the baby's name, it's hard to change. I know, it's hard. So where do you see that going? What's the value and what are the specific, do I need to buy a specific kind of mixer in order to use the remote mixing station?
For those that aren't familiar with Mixing Station Anywhere,
thank you.
One of the best things about it is it works with almost every mixer that's out there. We have been working over the last, especially the last 5, 10, 15 years, to work with the protocols of those mixers that you already have installed at your facility if it's network connected. And so by using that protocol, then we're able, with an agent that's on site, make it so that someone remotely can use it too. So to answer your question, it works with all of the popular brands. And anyone that doesn't work with us yet, we're working with behind the scenes to add to the program.
That's really exciting. Yeah, we've used it a bunch of different times. It's integrated with Hive Studio where we've managed audio and managed our videos. It's such an incredible tool and you guys keep updating it. You showed me on your phone, so how do you really use the platform? Is it browser based? Is it an application? How do you access it?
There's 2 ways to access your equipment from afar. One is with the Mixing Station app that, like I said before, man, so many people have.
Yeah.
There's a new option that says with an anywhere icon, you just click on that, and it then allows you to connect to, once you're logged in, all of the consoles that you've created connections for. The other way is via a web browser. So you can now, right from a web browser, pop it up. It even works on an iPad if you want.
That's incredible.
Chrome works best on a desktop, and you get the feel as if you're in front of that mixer. Now, mind you, it's not just control for the sliders and the mutes. It's also the real-time preview of the audio so you can hear the changes that you're making. It's also a real-time video feed so you can see the stage. How else would you know to unmute that microphone, right? If you didn't see somebody approaching it that was talking into the mic. So
interesting.
It's video, it's audio, and it's control, all accessible from the web. or from the Mixing Station app itself.
So the video, is that a stream that you're sending to Boxcast, the platform, and that's the video you're pulling in, or how does the video element work?
That's right. It's the power of the Boxcast video infrastructure and server infrastructure that acts as that relay to get it where it needs to go. Now, setup is really simple. You can either install on a Mac or a PC on the local network that can reach and talk to the console, or a Boxcast Spark encoder device. Once you have those on the network, the Spark has a video input and has audio inputs, and that just has the obvious information it needs to make that audio and video accessible. But there's a small setup configuration for the software on Windows and Mac where you choose which audio input you want into that computer, which video input you want, so that you can have that as your preview when you're afar.
So with audio being so prevalent in many different avenues in the AV industry, I'm sure Audinate has been brought up. Have you guys used Dante at all for mixing? Is that supported with?
Absolutely. So with Mixing Station anywhere, all you need for that agent is to be able to route the audio to it like you would into your Zoom call. So when you have virtual sound card on the computer from Dante, you can now subscribe to all the audio you want and then select from it as if you were selecting a different audio feed into your Zoom. Or a different audio route back into your mixer, either way. So there's a lot of flexibility. Just like you would in Logic Pro or any of these other DAWs. If you have access to those audio channels, you can route those also into your Mixing Station Anywhere agent.
So, Gordon, how long do you think it'll be until the majority of people are remotely controlling their video, remotely controlling their audio levels? Do you think that there will be a point in time where there is the mass majority of production that's remote?
Well, time is how long is time? I'll tell you this, front of house, for you to hear what's going on, it's really nice to be there. We are seeing, though, some of the biggest churches that are having that done remotely, and they're doing it in quiet production rooms sometimes too, on premise. So this idea of remote is a flexible thing if you're comfortable with the controls that are at hand. Right? You know, one of the advantages of remote mixing is that you can have ambient microphones placed wherever you want in the facility that you're trying to mix the room for, and you'll actually get a feel for, hey, what's it like in the 7th row? Or what's it like in the far back right? So one could argue that you might have more flexibility to do a better in-room mix because you can get more specific with where you're positioning your ears on the fly. However, I will say there's nothing like the security of being right in front of that console. But here's what I get really excited about. Where my passion lies isn't on the 1/3 of the market that's got it all figured out perfectly, right? Where I'm concerned about is, what about the 1/3 of the market that doesn't sound good, or the 1/3 of the market that's not even streaming at all? There's an opportunity where remote really shines, because why not bring somebody in, could be anywhere in the world, to help you get that audio mixed right? Right? Wherever the talent is, link them up with the venue so that you can make it so that your remote viewers hear an audio sound that makes them feel like they're there too.
So whether it's Mixing Station Anywhere, I got it this time, or Boxcast, where do you see the AV industry going in 10 years, whether for your company and your products or for just the industry as a whole?
I really believe in automation helping us make our jobs easier to produce better events. Sure, there's an opportunity. Remember I said 1/3 are doing great, 1/3 are not as good, and 1/3 aren't even doing it? Well, the 1/3 that aren't doing it as well as they could really benefit from the technology helping to automate the things that could help them be better. And then that last third could really be helped by things automating it to make that happen better. So that the cost issues or the reliability issues dissolve away, because technology is there to solve those kinds of problems, in my opinion.
Absolutely. It's very exciting. There's a lot more to see here at NAB, and there's a lot more live from the lounge. Gordon, where can they learn more about you, contact you, or reach out to Boxcast?
Well, the easiest place is just to head over to boxcast.com. You can learn all you want. We've got lots of great videos that will show you how easy it is to use. And one more thing before I go. I love making the technology simple for people and approachable for people. You know, when I step in front of an audio mixing board, I feel like I'm in front of the space shuttle, because there's so many gadgets, right? It's very intimidating for someone that's new. We've made it so that you can get access to any console in a very, very easy and approachable way that's perfect for volunteers to get started, to make your teams better, right, to learn, because there's an upskill opportunity too, where this technology can help make us as humans better.
So is there a webpage specifically for the mixing station that they can go to?
Go to boxcast.com. You'll
and they'll
find
be able to
everything
find
you
it.
need there.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Live from the Lounge today. There's a lot more coming. If you tune in tomorrow, local time 1 p.m., or if you're on the East Coast, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be live again with a bunch of new awesome integration partners. So tune in. Thank you again, Gordon. Thanks for everyone watching at home, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.